Hello, hello, good afternoon. Today is September the 13th, 2022. I haven't put a video together in a few days, maybe even a week, but I wanted to get back at it. So, first of all, trading and investing carries risk. Everything discussed here is for entertainment purposes only and not to be taken as financial advice. So, today, one of the things I want to talk about is I talk to people a lot, and I try to encourage people if they want to learn how to trade. People say they want to. It takes a lot of work. So one of the things I try to encourage people to do is practice. And one of the often people don't know how to practice, or they don't understand how to practice, because a lot of times I will tell people that you will never learn to trade while you are trading. It is just like anything else where, and I have another video where I mentioned something like this where, you're not going to go learn to be a professional golfer on a golf course. You're going to have to go to the driving range and you have to practice, right? Same with anything else, basketball, baseball, it takes practice. You don't just go in and you don't learn while you're playing a game. That's where you put into play all of the strategies and all the things that you practiced. So one of the things I wanted to kind of show is how to practice. So, and depends on your skill level, but the order of things as you learn to trade, you should understand candles. You should understand, what different candles in succession means, what reversal candles look like, how to kind of spot that reversal pattern. So that's one of the basics. And, while doing that, you start to understand trend lines. And then you understand a stock's coming down. It maybe makes a couple reversal candles and it bounces off the trend line. So, that's kind of the order of things. And then you start to understand that how the stock market moves in particular shapes. And, then you start to figure out trend lines within that, and then harmonics. It just, Fibonacci, it just tends to build and build and build. And the whole idea is to start with the basics. Like, you're not going to be a great trader at first. Nobody's great at anything at first. It's just the way the world is. So, but to understand the basics and then practice and paper trade, which is something I talk about. Paper trade. Don't lose real money. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. You're not going to go to a pool hall and spend real money to play a professional pool player. Right? Why would you do that? So, practice. So, how do we do this? Well, here is a way to do this. So, I use TradingView, and I pay for TradingView. I pay for all the data. You don't necessarily have to do that while you're learning. But one of the things I like to do is go replay my day. And one of the amazing things, I think Thinkorswim does this, but I like TradingView way better. And once again, they don't pay me money. They don't give me this for free. I pay for this. I pay for this application, and I use it all the time. I have probably most of my screens around me run this application. And again, on every one of them, I have multiple tabs. It's an amazing, amazing application. So how do we practice? Well, one of the amazing things about TradingView is that you can actually replay a trading day. You can go back a lot. I don't know how far you can go back, but you can go back and you can replay multiple days. It's really, really awesome. And all you have to do in TradingView is you go up here, this area up at the top where it says replay, and you just click it. And then right here, it highlights this blue. And what it's telling you to do with this blue line, where do you want to start the replay from? Which candle do you want to start it from? Well, I just want to start it from, how about right here before this big drop today, right? And so let's do that. And look at that. Took us back to pre-market. So what is the speed we want to actually run this at if you look up here? Well, we want to replay. So right now, if you look up here, I'm on a 5-minute chart, and I can replay every 5-minute candle over 2 seconds. So that means if you do the math, which I'm not going to do, you can replay the whole day in way less time. So every 5 minutes is 2 seconds, right? Which you could slow it down and just retrade certain parts of the day. So let's just see what this looks like. So I click play, and I'm on a 5-minute chart, and I kind of zoom in a bit. And, we know there's going to be a big yank here. I mean, it's pretty impossible not to remember this happening. So now every 5 minutes is being built out every 2 seconds. It's amazing. And, I wouldn't say this is necessarily the most amazing day to try to replay, but we're going to do it because every day can't be a great day. Welcome to trading. Welcome to whatever your job is. So, but this is the way that it works. Well, then you can start to maybe see something here, and you can say, I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to pause, and I'm going to look. Well, we had this pull. Well, what caused this pull right here? Well, okay, well, absolutely. So I want to jump over to a 15-second chart, and then I'm going to zoom in. So now you can change your time frames, and every 15 seconds will be 2 seconds, right, as we'd so selected at the top. And then it allows you to come in here and just, pause and practice. And when I say practice, I mean look. Take a look, right? So you have a bit of a support here. Now we're down on a 15-second chart, so keep that in mind, right? We have this W here. We have all of this. So that pull was in pre-market. This is right after the open. So what happened after the open? Well, we got a bit of a push. Well, why did we get a push? Wow, look at all that volume that came in. Well, what is that? Well, we had that gigantic pull. So people are probably just taking a bit of profit, as you do on the way down. And that's a very important part of trading. Nobody puts all their money in and just leaves it in there and to a number that they think. People tend to scale in and scale out. It kind of flows in and out, right? And, your pattern starts to work out. Well, the smart person understands where the profit targets are. And you get to that target. Well, it keeps going. Okay, well, you left a little bit in. Then you look for the next pattern possibly to set up on a lower time frame. And then as you do that, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to scale back in because this is actually going to go further, or it's going to push, or, whatever it may be. So, but it allows you to pause and actually start looking at these patterns setting up. What are these patterns here? What is this? There's an M, there's a W. That little bitty M turned into a W, and then it pulled, because what happens after you get a W? Well, you get a retracement, which also possibly turned into a bit of a micro M, right? There's all of these things that you can do, and then you can even get a bit more crazy. Well, let's say we wanted to trade some of this. Well, what would we do? Well, let's see. Let's draw a trend line here and see, okay, we got that. We came here because we didn't know this trend existed until this line was here. Is there another place we could have drawn that? Not really. So maybe we draw one here, see what we're doing here, and, just start drawing trend lines. Do we want to enter a bigger trade? Do we want to scalp? Like, how does this work, right? So it allows you to do all these things. This is the best part about utilizing this application to replay. And so, let's just close this out, say we're done. Yeah, we're finished. We're kind of done with this now. So where are we? We're on the 15 seconds. Let's go back to the 5 minute. And let's just say, there was this big pull right here. Okay, well, you know what? I want to replay from there and see what happened here. There was this push, and then it just kind of fell. It wasn't a big yank. It just was an additional sell-off. Well, what happened? What does the pattern look like? Well, then you start trying to figure out patterns. And then we're talking about the patterns that right? So just pull it back here. We can get rid of these trend lines, or you can go draw more trend lines, or however you want to do it. But this is an amazing way when people don't understand how to practice. This is how you do it. This is how people get better at trading. So, and then you can start to actually follow these, and you can see, start drawing your trend lines and start doing all the things. And then as it plays out, were you right? Okay, maybe you were. Awesome. What made you right? Well, then you can go look at why you were right. The volume was there. You can fire up additional indicators, right? So we'll fire up a MACD on this. So fire up a MACD and just kind of see what happens. And, oh, actually, I think I've already got a MACD on here. Anyway, So, what did we start to see here? Well, I don't know. It looks like we're starting to see some divergence. Interesting. And so then you start to figure out, maybe put some other indicators on, right? I mean, I have tons of things that I can turn on and turn off, so, but it allows you to start testing your indicators. It allows you to start testing the tools that you're learning about. But I strongly suggest, and again, not advice, but I strongly suggest, you learn a couple of tools, a couple of indicators, and practice with them. Try to see if they're beneficial, if the way that they work fits your eye, or if you can actually see moves with them. And if you can't, just turn them off. And then go try to learn a couple of more, and just keep doing that until you find what fits. It took me years to find exactly the setup I have now. Years. It doesn't mean I was a bad trader. It just means that it took me a long time to figure out what worked for me. So this, I can't stress it enough. Like, it's an amazing way to practice, right? And if you find days that you can trade, let's just say you go back and you practice and you're like, hey, I think I've kind of got the hang of this. Don't use real money. Don't use real money. Use Thinkorswim or Interactive Brokers or whoever else you might want to use that has a paper trading, like a simulator, and use those and practice. And then you get good enough. Awesome. Then maybe switch over to real money. That choice is yours. So anyway, here we are. This is a great way to practice. So when people ask me, this is what I tell them. Go replay the day. Go retrade the day. And if you're overly familiar with how the day went, the easiest thing to do is put it on a time frame that you're not overly familiar with, maybe the 1 minute, and update the 1 minute every 2 seconds. Right? You didn't watch the 1 minute chart. So those moves are going to be a lot further away than what you were going to expect if you were expecting a 5 minute or a 15 minute. So anyway, there you go. This is how you actually practice, how you replay the day, and how you can go in and actually try to be a better trader. This takes a lot of time. Remember, people don't become professionals overnight. So take the time, put in the work, hustle. So I like making these videos. If this is helpful to you, let me know in the comments, like and subscribe and all of that stuff. I look forward to the next one. And until then, I will see you later.